Hey folks, this is Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're taking a look at the KU221 by Kubey Knives. This is a funky knife. Comes in this bright blue or black or an OD green. We've got a satin finish D2 blade, and it looks a little bit fierce to me, and it reminds me of a swimming predator. It just kind of has that look to me for that. It's got some odd shapes to it. You know, it's got a bump and then it's got a dip on the spine and jimping way along there, and, you know, full back spacer and super deep pocket clip. You know, there's some unique things about this knife and weird things. I think this is going to be one of those I love it, I hate it kind of knives. And we'll have everybody on either spectrum and just a few people in between that say, hey, it's kind of cool, it's not bad, it's not great. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Let us know in the comments below what you think of this knife. I got mine from White Mountain Knives. It's just under $30 US there, $29.99. You can get 10% off when you use my coupon code CCE for Canadian Cutting Edge. Then you get $26.99 is what you pay for this knife in US dollars. And I have found no places anywhere where you can get a better price than that for this funky knife. So stick around. The full review's coming to you right now. Okay, there it is, nice and close compared to the Ontario Rat 1. If we line up the pivot pins there, you know, it's very similar size. Length is about the same, and very similar knife. Cutting edge is very similar as well in length. We've got on the site where I read this on White Mountain Knives, it says that it is sandblasted. It's not. This is a satin finish. Finish is this way on the main bevel and horizontal. You can see it was sanded horizontally on the flat section there. It's got a very tip, like a strong tip, I should say. It was ground a little unevenly, quite a bit more on this side than on that side at the tip. Both of the sides have been sharpened at quite the angle. Instead of 20 degrees per side as I like, it's been done at 27 point something per side. Not a big deal, but it is something that Kubey should look into. Like I said, not a big deal. Very easy to sharpen this knife very nicely. Kubey has been using the steels that they say they have when it's been tested at least. So D2 steel here. And we've got stainless steel liners with a lot of skeletonizing on the one side. And then this side doesn't have much for skeletonizing. I'll show you the insides. G10, that's got a very unique shape to it. So I'm going to move it back and forth so hopefully you can see the shape of it, although you're looking in 2D. This is a big scooped out section here, quite a bit wider here at the spine than it is at the belly. You can even see how narrow it is here, and you can see that it gets wider up there on the spine. So the spine's wide, and it's got some weird angles to it. So like this edge here, it's wide here, and then comes narrow, 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 and it's narrow at the tip of the handle. So, and that's got a radius, and then there's a section milled out here, and there's a step there. Lots of different angles on it. It's not crazy comfortable in hand, but it's not terrible either. I would like these angles here to be chamfered a bit more. And, if I was going to keep this knife, and I might, I don't know, I'd sand this edge here a little bit so that's more rounded over. It gets a little bit warm in hand after a while when you're holding it, doing a lot of cutting. Another thing that gets a little bit hot in hand is this pocket clip. And I don't know, maybe a smaller pocket clip, maybe something different about the pocket clip would be better. It's not a super big pocket clip. But while talking about the pocket clip, we've got round button screws there. So when you look at the pocket clip like this, you see those two button screws. It makes you think that there's no room back there, that your pants are going to get caught. Well, let's demonstrate. It climbs over that edge very easily at the beginning, and it just goes right to the bottom every time. no problem. So it will hide all the way because that is a very, very deep carry pocket clip. It's deeper than the knife handle is. So there's pluses to that pocket clip, and just like everything else in life, there's cons to it as well. The handle is nicely rounded to fit in the palm of the hand, like to nestle in there. So that part's quite comfortable. It's just this edge here on the belly of the handle that sometimes isn't very comfortable. We've got these big, not cool, but these bigger flat screws for most of the body screws, and then this button screw is also the body screw. I would have liked it if they would have included another one of these, just in case somebody who doesn't want a pocket clip would take it off, then they could put, that same type of screw in over here. I think that's asking quite a bit for a knife of this price. Let's talk some more about the blade. It's funky looking a little bit. This spine, it goes up and then it goes down. It's actually very comfortable for the thumb. The jimping is large and not aggressive. Take your finger over the flipper here if you're careful. You could get cut by that edge, but if you're careful. You've got another spot to put your thumb to do some hard work. If you're pushing hard, but you want to get close to what you're cutting, that can work. It's funky. You've got this hole in here, and it's not just sort of like an oval. It's kind of odd. You've got an extra little dip right there. If you see that hole, it's kind of odd, the shape of it, isn't it? And then there you can see close up of that jimping, and then the spine comes down. It stays full thickness up to about here, and then it starts tapering down to the tip. So quite strong. They say it's 4 millimeters, and it's very close to 4 millimeters in my measurements. The flipper tab has got jimping on the back of it right there. So when the flipper tab is in this orientation, there's jimping on the front. It really works only with light switch method kind of deployment. If you try to push down that way, it's just not going to get anywhere. You really have to be pulling back in order to get the blade to deploy. So it's a one-way deployment. Not terrible. I don't mind that at all. So that works okay. Some people might like it. Some people don't. So like I say, learn about it, buy what you like, and don't buy what you don't like. Nice flat saber grind here, which I like. And that's the general shape of it. So we've got D2, which has a Rockwell hardness of around 59, give or take. There were some pictures where there was a stonewash version of this, but on the Kubey page where Kubey sells their own Kubey knives, they only show the same 3 that are at White Mountain Knives with the colors that they have at the White Mountain Knives store, the black, green, and blue with satin finish. But I guess maybe they made some with some stonewash at one point. I've got links down below so you can buy it. If you're in North America, I would suggest going to White Mountain Knives because they've got the best price, and you can get 10% off on underneath that instead of on top of that as well. So you can get 10% more off. So that's price is like $26.99 after the discount. It's a coupon code CCE that you put in at checkout when you buy something at White Mountain Knives. So there you go. That's the basics of it. Let's talk about all the different specs and measurements and stuff. 141 grams. That's 4.95 ounces. So just like the knife that I reviewed in the previous video, the rake knife, same weight. We've got a factory sharpness of about 230 bes. And that's, again, a large part because the grind angle was so steep. So that's something that, I can easily fix. But 200 and less is considered sharp. Higher than 200 means that it should be sharpened. And so once this video is done, I will be sharpening this knife. The blade shape makes it cut very well. The blade shape makes it great for piercing, but I didn't get a lot of good slicing out of it. Now for the dimensions, the cutting edge length, 9.17 centimeters, 3.6 inches. Blade length, so tip to the closest spot on the handle, 8.51 centimeter, 3.35 inches. The blade thickness is 3.94 millimeters, which is 0.115 of an inch, so well over 1/8 of an inch thick. That's kind of good if you want that. The blade depth, and I measure it 1 inch up from the sharpener's choil, so where my thumbnail is, 1 inch up is right about there, not quite in the lowest spot. It's kind of odd that I measure it there, but I always do it about 1 inch up. So that's 2.4 centimeters, 0.946 of an inch. The thickness of the edge behind the grind right there, that same 1 inch up, 0.68 millimeters, which is 27 thousandths of an inch. So the blade's a little bit thicker than I'd like. Of course, that makes it a whole lot tougher, but I prefer it to be thinner. Not terrible, but could be better. The grind angle, like I said, 27.4 degrees, 27.6 degrees. That is too much. That's like 55.5 degrees inclusive, and it should be sharper than that. Now let's talk about the handle. The handle length, not counting the pocket clip because it sticks out a bit. Handle length is 12.34 centimeters. That's 4.86 inches. The grip area, and that's that space between my thumbs, that's around 9.25 centimeters, about 3.6 inches. And the handle thickness, it gets thick right there, right where this little step is. That's the widest point right there. And that is 1.72 centimeters, 0.677 of an inch. So most knives are close to 1/2 of an inch. This is 0.677. So, but it's thinner on other parts of it. It just happens to be thickest right there. The handle depth, that's this dimension, 2.79 centimeters, 1.1 inch. When the knife is closed, the largest dimension this way, it's actually right here, not counting the flipper tab, 3.4 centimeters, 1.34 inches. And the total length of the knife when the blade is deployed is 20.75 centimeters. Oh, I did it again. Forgot to put it into inches. So let's do that. Put the knife tip on there, bring it on back, and it's about 8 and just under 8.25. It's 8.25 with the pocket clip and just under 8.25 with just the handle, since the pocket clip sticks out a little bit. So not bad for the dimensions. It's funky styling. The price, like I said, after the 10% discount, $26.99 at White Mountain Knives. Other stores, I think Amazon has it for $29.99 as well, but of course you don't get the 10% discount at Amazon. And you do get free shipping at White Mountain Knives in the United States. In Canadian dollars, the discounted price is the same as $36.17 Canadian as of June 9th, 2020. Of course, the currency is continually changing. I did find this on Amazon.de. That's for Deutschland. For Germany, 19.99 euros. Not bad, because the AliExpress price is 34.4 euros. So 20 euros instead of 35 euros. Yeah, not bad. The AliExpress price in pounds is about 30.64 pounds sterling. So that's the price. There's the size. It's a funky knife. I like how it looks, and some people just won't. I don't like terribly much how it feels in the hand. It's not bad, but I don't love it, and I wish I would love it. But I think I could make it a lot better, like I said, if this edge here got rounded on the G10. If you are ever going to sand G10, use a mask and have the wind to your back, because the fibers that are in here are known to cause lung cancer if you breathe it in, a whole lot of it anyways, but might as well breathe in 0, right? That's what I say. Now, but the lockup is perfect. It's exactly where I want a lockup to be on a liner lock. The detent is very, very good. It just flies out when it overcomes the detent. Very good. There's no blade play side to side, up and down. Solid. When the knife is closed, the alignment is excellent. Right down the middle where it should be. And T8 for all the screws, except for the pocket clip screws. Those are T6s. What do you think of this knife? I think most of the people who are going to buy a knife like this are people, mostly guys that like something a little different. They like something a little funky, something a little unique, something that'll get a conversation started. And yet it's functional. The design of it is very functional. The execution, they could have done better on the blade, both in terms of how thick it is at the cutting edge and the sharpening. But the sharpening can be easily overcome, as I said 3 times now, so I'll stop that mantra. The pocket clip is mildly hot. I wish it was a little bit smaller, but it's certainly adequate for the knife. I wish it was also left capable, but it's only a right side pocket clip, so that's another downer for about 10% of the population. There you go. I think I like this knife. One thing I haven't mentioned, and it's something that has been on a number of knives recently, no lanyard hole. You see that? There's no lanyard hole. I'd like to ask you, please comment down below. Tell me what you think of knives that don't have lanyard holes. Is it a good thing that companies are making more knives without lanyard options? Or do you really want the lanyard option? Are you saying, come on, people, get with it and put a lanyard hole on every pocket knife? So what kind of person are you? Lanyard or no lanyard? I'm a no lanyard guy for the most part. Now, I don't mind lanyard holes because they generally don't get in the way at all. But so that's just where I stand on the issue. If you'd like to get one of these knives for yourself, like I said, there's links down below. It's a good price. It's a good price for a functional knife that looks a bit funky. That's my take on it. You decide your own opinion. Thanks for liking this video. Thanks for sharing it with your friends. Thanks for commenting. Any comment is beneficial and I appreciate it. If you want to become a Patreon supporter of this channel, just go to patreon.com/CCE and you can help this channel out. I don't do these videos to try to make any income, but I do need an income in order to pay for purchasing more knives and equipment to do the reviews. So thank you so much for your help, Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. Remember, friends, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.